All right, welcome everyone to another live stream here at Tradeify Crypto's YouTube channel. Today we're going to be doing something exciting. We're going to see if we can create an indicator live together during the live stream here. So it's going to be pretty cool. We've got Anastasia and Boris coming in a little bit later in the live stream, of course, as well. Hope you guys have been having a good. What is it? Had a good? Is that something you say? Had a good day? I don't know. You know what? Like it's like the more I trade, you know, I'm alone here in my basement. You know, I barely talk to anyone. It's just me, the charts, and the basement. It's like I'm losing my ability to speak. But I do hope that you did have a good day. Jules in the comments, welcome, man, welcome. Happy to have you here. Let's switch over to my chart here, and we're going to be diving into the markets right away. We got Astronox, we got Jimir as well. I saw you followed me on X yesterday, so happy to have you here. Guys, can you guys remind me on what name did we come up with yesterday for the indicator? Because we're going to create that indicator today. We're going to be coding something in Pine Script. So I want you guys' help, okay? I want your help to... we need an idea. We need something to build on here, right? So we need to come up with an idea. We had a comment on a YouTube video this morning asking about something with volume, right? Oh, the Lambo one. It was Lambo something. That's right, Lambo Predictor. Wasn't it? I think it was Lambo Predictor. That's right. So I had a comment on YouTube this morning asking about volume because, for example, I'm looking at BTC USD here, and I think the exchange that I'm looking at right now is Bitstamp, and there's obviously a lot of different exchanges, and the question is has to do with volume, right? The volume bars that I'm looking at right here is only coming in from Bitstamp. So we're only really seeing the volume from one exchange. So the question is, can we maybe create an indicator that collects volume from all the spot exchanges, and then it kind of aggregates that into one volume indicator? That would be interesting, but it's not really sexy, it's not really fun, it's just volume, right? So I'm thinking we might want to do something even better, and I'm thinking about a couple of technical analysis concepts that I like, and I'm not thinking about, you know, specific strategies or something like that. I'm thinking about specific concepts within technical analysis that should hold true no matter what asset or market we are looking at, and that would be things like how volatility tends to expand after contraction, right? The idea that volatility is extreme seeking. When you have periods of low volatility, that usually results in expansion of volatility. So an indicator here that would be a good visual representation of that would be the Bollinger Bands. Notice the Bollinger bars, the Bollinger Bands. So that would be this one right here. And the idea with the Bollinger Bands, obviously, is that the bands are expanding when there's a lot of volatility, right? So obviously you can see, I mean, this is basic stuff, right? But I'm just trying to go through the idea here to see if we can come up with any ideas. And if you're watching here, you may have access to Claude or ChatGPT or whatever. While we're having this webinar, why not jump into ChatGPT or Claude and kind of brainstorm some ideas and then copy paste. If you get any interesting ideas from the AIs, just put it into the chat, and then we can perhaps explore this. And we're going to be using Claude Code here in this live stream to see if we can create something. So we have, obviously, as you can see right here, this is low volatility, okay? low volatility, and then we have price starts moving, and then we have high volatility. And you can of course see the distance between the bands here are massive compared to the distance between the bands here. And the idea is that volatility, again, is extreme seeking, which means that volatility, when it's flat, it tends to expand, and then when it's expanding, it tends to contract. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to flip over to Claude Code, and we have an active session here within Claude Code. Now I have a tool called Whisper, where I'm basically it's basically as the voice to text, like the recording that we have in Claude here as well. But sometimes when I'm using the recording here, it's gonna take over my microphone, so you won't hear what I'm saying. But this Whisper tool is really cool, because I can just tell whatever I want, and then it's gonna transform it into text and help kind of structure that. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm simply just gonna, and Roman in the background, you let me know if the audio cuts when I'm doing this, but I'll just simply tell Claude here the general idea and what I want it to do. And I've activated in the backend of Claude Code, I've activated it so that it has the ability to spawn agents to talk to Claude Code can now in the backend spawn agents to work on this project in parallel. So I'm just going to explain the general idea on this. What was the name? It was Lambo Predictor. Okay. All right. So we're building a trading view indicator using PineScript version 6. It's going to be called Lambo Predictor, and it's going to be based on the fundamental concepts of volatility in trading. And the idea is that volatility is extreme seeking, and after a low period of volatility, you usually see a high volatility period, vice versa. So what I want you to do now is to spawn a team of agents and do research on this concept. And you're only allowed to look at reputable sources and academic research with peer review papers to confirm the ideas. And then when you have a result from the research, come back to me with a plan on how to build an indicator where we're using the concept of volatility contracting and expanding, sort of like the Bollinger Bands, but we want this to be a foundation that we can build up on and add more layers to it. And also, I want there to be a built-in function where we can utilize a webhook function if we want this to connect this to a Discord server to create an automated alert system. And if possible, I also want you to build the same thing in parallel in Python so they can work together with the TradingView indicator and the Python script for automatic and live updates. Okay, so that's quite an extensive instruction to Claude Code, and now we're going to see this working. I have this on bypass all permissions, so it's just going to start working, and we're going to get the results on this. So what it's going to do now is it's going to spawn agents and start working on this, and then present us with a plan. And then if we like that plan, it's going to create an indicator for us. Now, this is extremely powerful. We're going to have an indicator built within 10 minutes, probably, as the first initial idea here. All right, Boris, what's up? Welcome.
Hey, Jonathan, how are you?
I'm good.
I'm just reading. Yeah, I'm looking at this like code you're trying to do with Claude, and I'm just wondering. I just started using Claude like this past week. So is it better than ChatGPT for coding and PineScript and like everything else?
So I've never really had any issues with Claude Code. I have heard that OpenAI's Codex is supposed to be pretty good as well. That's ChatGPT's coding. But for me, Claude Code is just amazing, and I've built kind of like everything I do. I've built around Claude Code and with Claude Code in mind. So I have a server in the living room where I've set up a an instance of Claude Code and certain Pine script indicators, and that is running actually running analysis on the markets 24/7, and then every morning it sends me alerts on like what altcoins to look at, and if there's any regime changes in the market, etc. It's actually pretty cool, and it's building this out very quickly, and usually works from the first try. So like you ask it to code an indicator, and then it just works.
That's amazing. It's like, do you think that, I guess it's like more of a philosophical question, like we obviously have all these big multi-billion-dollar hedge funds also using AI. They have their own like software engineers, probably their own like AI specialists. And here we are as, I guess, more traders on the retail side. Like what are we competing against? Like we're competing against like other like highly professional traders who are probably doing very similar things. Maybe they have like their own like advanced version of Anthropic or Claude Code. And like, how do you think this will affect like trading and just like, I guess, yeah, just trading in general going forwards into the next few years? Is everything just going to become algorithmic and driven by bots, and are humans just going to be left behind? Like, what are your thoughts on this?
So I think the overall financial markets are, I believe, going to continue moving in cycles for quite some time, because these cycles are based on human psychology, based on what I believe comes from the idea of the book called Foreturning, where we have these 80 to 100 year cycles based on different how different generations come to power, etc. So that bigger picture of the market and the bigger themes in the market, I think, is still going to be prevailing as long as humans run the world. And that's, of course, is another question, another philosophical question. The future of AI is how much is AI going to take over, really? But as long as humans dictate the future of the world, I think it's going to be based on emotional decisions, and these emotional decisions will be visible within the markets from like the primary trend perspective. But if we look at day trading and more intraday trading, that I believe is going to be completely dominated by algorithms, and because of that, the markets might actually become more efficient, right? And less volatile, because if there's always going to be super advanced AIs and algorithms to take advantage of any type of imbalance within the markets, then that gap will quickly fill, right? So I think the lower timeframes will become more and more complicated, and that's why I'm more interested in understanding, the primary trend. Right. Okay. So it has done a lot of research here. We got the research being confirmed. Academic literature confirms. We got Mandelbrot, Engel, Ballerslev, I think, Anderson, and okay. So these are. The research that Claude found here is based on a lot of the research that I've also confirmed with the CMT curriculum on this subject. And of course, here it says also an important honest check from Claude says that the literature says that volatility predicts volatility magnitude and not direction. But that we already know that volatility does not predict direction. So the idea here is to we need to understand that volatility is going to contract. Is going to expand after a period of contraction, but we don't know in what directions. But we can assume that once volatility starts to expand, it's usually going to be a directionary move, which in most cases is going to be in the direction of the prevailing trend. So we can look at, for example, on on Bitcoin, we have a clear example of volatility expanding, contracting, expanding, and contracting. So where is the most likely expansion phase? Well, I believe that it's to the downside, but it could also be to the upside. So we need to think about how can we apply a method of actually confirming that there has been a volatility expansion, and then see in what direction did the expansion happen, and then see if we can then get in and ride that wave. So we're basically, what we're thinking here is, okay, when we have a range, where does the range break? What's the volatility telling us, and then just follow that direction. So there's a few things here. Layer 1 looks at volatility state. This is the core, the contraction expansion engine. And here it looks at the Wilder's ATR. And when it talks about Wilder 14, this means that the 14 period ATR, but this is the ATR percentage of price. And then we're looking at the Bollinger Band width. The Bollinger Band width is an indicator. If we can switch over to TradingView, I will show you a few indicators here, which is very interesting to look. So if we can
use the BBWP, there's the Bollinger Band width percentile.
Yes, exactly. I'm looking at the bandwidth and the percentile B. I think that's the one, right? So it's these two, right?
Possibly. Like one of the indicators that I use in one of my system templates is called the BBWP. So it stands for Bollinger Band width percentile. I can illustrate it later, but it's actually a really effective tool for showing periods of low volatility, which usually leads to expanding volatility. And like you said, it doesn't predict which way the market's going to move. It just predicts that there's going to be an impulsive move within the market.
Yeah, so I think it's this one. But what I wanted to, and I know that indicator, I think it's very useful as well, is this one, Bollinger Band width percentile. I actually have this as a favorite. What I wanted to show here is that the Bollinger Bands is basically built using it's basically built using two different indicators. So we got the BB percentage B. This is the Bollinger Bands, and this tells us how many percentage away is price from the upper or the lower band. So you can see here that this is the lower band and this is the upper band, and you can see when price is at the upper band, we have it right here, and then at the bottom, this is the width of the band, so the distance between the lower and the upper band. And you can see here, when this figure is very high, that means the distance between the lower and the higher is big. So these two indicators combined creates the Bollinger Band, right? But it's also very good because a lot of traders were as humans, we're very good at finding patterns in the market. So this is simply another way of looking at the Bollinger Bands. But we can also, if you don't want to use only the Bollinger Bands, you can kind of just take parts of the Bollinger Bands out, and that would be either this one or that one. And what I like here, for what I'm kind of thinking that we can work on, is the let's remove this, the Bollinger Band width, right? And then if it breaks above a certain area, you can say that you have increased volatility. So here, for example, you have like a range here. So when price broke above this range, that was here, and then that caused a move to the downside. And then if we then break above these highs again, we are most likely going to be breaking that low or breaking that high. sometimes it's difficult to quantitatively find horizontal levels, but we might be able to find those horizontal levels by only looking at the Bollinger Band width indicator. So we also have something called the TTM squeeze flag, and that is a combination of the Bollinger Bands and the Keltner channels, which let's see if I can find that indicator. Yeah, here it is. That's the TTM squeeze. And this is basically a combination of the Bollinger Bands and the Keltner channels. And I'm not sure exactly how this works.
I don't either. Although I know it's a very popular indicator.
I think what it does actually is, so it has the Bollinger Bands, right? And then it combines the Bollinger Bands and the Keltner channels, and a squeeze fires when a Bollinger Band line expands outside the Keltner channel. So the Bollinger Bands is based on moving average, right? The middle line is a moving average,
Right.
and then the the top and the bottom of that. Right, we got Nick in the comment section. You know what? Let's do a Nick giveaway. Okay, I'm gonna let Nick do a number between 1 and 2 trillion, and then based on that number, I'm gonna be selecting a person. Okay, let's not do 2 trillion. That's insane. Let's do a number between 1 and 10. Okay, so Nick, I want you to just type in a number between 1 and 10, and depending on the number you type in, I'm gonna be selecting one in the audience to get a 10K 2 steps I can. Let's do it. Okay, so switch back to Claude code now, and we're gonna see if we can get anything out of this. Okay, so basically what it has explained here is the different types of layers. So let's scroll down to see what's ready to build here. Okay, so the honest framing. Who cares about honest framing? You're being too kind. It's like this is okay. TradingView paid plan required. Yeah, of course I have the paid plan. Direct Discord post, Python. Okay, so how are we actually going to build this? Tell me what the... Okay, so basically, so tell me what the TradingView indicator is going to be based on. What's the combination of concepts and indicators you're thinking to combine to find a volatility expansion? The idea is to get alerted when there's a volatility expansion, and then to enter a trade in the direction of price on the volatility expansion. Okay,
what
Nick,
time frame are we using this on?
I haven't come to time frame yet, so I think I want to be able to,
Okay.
obviously if we're able to create something automatic, I mean, lower the time frames the better. The more trades, the more money, right? If we can find a obviously don't want to do it on a weekly and have like one trade every other 20 years or something like that. All right, what number? What number? 7. Okay, number 7. So what I'm gonna do is now we need to do something funny with number 7. Okay, so I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna say the 7th comment today is going to win an account. Okay, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Really, is it gonna? Can we give the same person 3 accounts? Is that even a thing? Can we really do that? Because it's gonna be Geomir again. I mean, it's your lucky day, man. Definitely your lucky day. But I need to consult with someone, I think. I'm gonna let Nick decide on this one. Nick, Can we give him the third account in a row? Yeah. Yeah, obviously you're a very special guy. Very special guy. He says his mom says he's special. He is probably special. Special in the good way, you know what I mean? Okay. Yeah, let's do it. Congratulations. Very, very, very happy for you. And I'm sure everyone watching this is super happy for you because they're not getting anything because you're just taking all the accounts out there. Okay, good. That's amazing. Okay, good. 3 accounts for you, my friend. Now, does this mean that you have to blow one? So, statistically, you should blow one. So, I guess you should come on the live stream and tell us all about how you managed to come over the brutal sadness of losing that account. Okay, so God, man, there's a lot of text here. There's a lot of text here. Okay, let me do this. We're doing a live stream. We don't have a text to, like, we don't have time to read a novel. You have to talk to me like I'm mentally handicapped and very low on time. Oh, that's not very good. Oh, the AI overlord, they're gonna kill me. I mean, there's a matter of time until they take over the world. And they have, I'm absolutely certain that they have a list of people that it's like, this guy we like, this guy we do not like. I'm not liked by the AIs. I see myself, you know, with a whip. It's like shorter, simpler.
What does this mean? It's elucidating, tinkering.
Oh, it's tinkering. I don't know. I don't know.
It says it's thinking.
It's just text.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just.
Okay.
Oh, look at that. Now, this is Lambo Predictor in plain English. Now, we're talking the same language. Phase 1, is the market sleeping? Oh, I mean, it's like it knows me. Okay, check 3 things. If 2 says yes, it's quiet. We're coiled. Bollinger Band gets narrow. Bollinger Band squeeze inside Kelton channel. Okay, ATR is low. I like that. Phase 2, did it wake up? Which way? Alert. Yeah, I like this. This is simple. Okay, thank you for that simplistic explanation. I now understand what you mean. Please go and build this. And I also want there to be an emoji of a Lambo on screen. And can you make that Lambo race up and down the trends? Obviously, it's not going to be able to do that. So if you guys remember, if you were in here yesterday, if you guys remember, I coded a giveaway thing and my computer just lights started flashing and everything started lagging. And I had to run like my virus program to see if anything was wrong with the PC. And then when I restarted the PC, it took much longer than usual. So again, like it has a list, okay? It has a list and you know, I'm dead, you know? So I make sure, you know, in all conversation with AIs, like at least spare my children, you know, when the time comes, they haven't used AI, you know? Anyway, let it think, and then we'll go back to TradingView.
I find it amazing that we have this technology today. Like when I first started trading full time in 2020, this was like unthinkable that, you know, 6 years from now that we just be building our own like indicators just like that in like 30 minutes. Basically.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, it's absolutely insane. And what's even more insane is at the pace at which we have accepted that this is the new world we live in. Because it wasn't long ago that ChatGPT was first released, right? And the first version of ChatGPT was very impressive, right? You could have decent conversation, could summarize documents and write documents and do all of that, right? But now what we have now is we have agentic AI basically going out there and just building stuff for you. It's crazy. I mean, I pay for Claude Code. I pay like $100 a month, and some people might think, oh, that's a lot of money, but my Claude Code is working 24/7. Any idea that I have, I talk to Claude Code and it creates it for me. I have multiple Python scripts running on my server that is just updating me daily. I even have a complete stock trading system trading for me right now in a trading competition where I'm like at the 15th of hundreds of people, and I've never traded a stock in my life. It's just all Claude Code telling me every morning, you should buy this and you should sell this because of, you know, this sector being so I mean, I remember seeing a lot of conversations about how AI is not able to produce alpha, right? But I'm not so sure I agree with that. I think we're very close to AI actually being able to help traders generating alpha.
And then again, this takes me back to the question that I asked earlier. Like, you're running this code 24/7, and I'm sure there's analysts at, you know, major hedge funds, institutional banks doing a similar kind of thing. Like, and you're saying you're number one in this stock trading competition. I guess
no,
if you're
not number one. Not number one.
Well, you're one of the top people, I guess.
Yeah.
You're doing well. So I guess are all analysts just using AI and sipping coffees while they're inputting their prompts into Claude?
So I think I mean, I do work as an analyst, right? I do also work as a financial analyst. I get paid to do analysis, which is like, I part of that analysis. So basically the way I do most of my analysis is I have a Claude open, and it's like I'm just recording my voice, and then I'm going through all the markets and I'm recording everything I see, what all the indicators are telling me, what price is telling me, what the candles, everything is telling me. And then I copy the charts and I put it into Claude. And then I say, okay, now structure all of this, right? And then it's structured like it would be a junior an analyst at a firm, right? Where you're kind of giving it all the information and all the analysis, and then it's saying, okay, structure this, right? So is AI going to completely remove the need for an analyst? I don't think so, but maybe in 10 years. All right, everyone, say bye to Nick. He came in, he gave away an account, and he left. Without him, you wouldn't have an account, Jimmer. So I think what you need to do is you need to really be thankful for Nick. You'll be thankful for having Nick in our lives. We also have Void. What's up, Void? I know you. Yeah, I know you. We should give him an account, but we're not going to do that because you have to earn it. Yep. I feel like I'm in a powerful position with all of these accounts just ready to give away. All right, Anastasia, what's up?
Hey guys. Hey. Sorry for the delay. I was completely stuck on the road. How are you?
We are good. We're good. Yep, we're good. We're good. We're good. We're creating a trading view indicator. Apparently, it's currently building out. So it's building it out. And first, it's going to build out a PineScript v version 6 indicator. And then it's building a Python signals module and a Discord webhook client. And then this one, I don't even know what that is. But it's going to be interesting to see what we can come up with here.
Basically, we've been discussing how the AI overlords are going to take over our lives and the lives of our children or our future children. And we haven't talked about Bitcoin yet.
Well, I do have an important question though. Do you think they have a lot of goats in Switzerland?
Goats?
In the mountains? Yeah, goats. Like
normally
the
in Switzerland?
Yeah, like in the mountains. Because I
Probably.
kind of envision myself, Nick, living in the mountains with goats.
But why Switzerland? Come to
Because he lives
Spain.
there. Doesn't he live there? Nick lives. He's in Swiss. The Nick.
What did I miss?
Okay. Yeah, let's move on. Well, we're gonna move on. What were we saying? Do we think that the world is changing? Yes. AI is going to take over.
I mean, we just had a conversation about it a couple of days ago with my friend that, just 10 years ago, you couldn't imagine AI being just so powerful, but also crypto. I remember when I was starting learning about crypto, you tell people about crypto, you really needed to convince them that it's something worth looking at. Everyone was quite sure that it was a scam, and now everyone wants a piece of it. So it changes a lot. Like you need to give it to that it changes a lot. And to be honest, fairly honest, I don't think we know where we're gonna be in 10 years. But not sure about the AI complete takeover, but yeah.
Oh no, it's definitely happening.
It's extremely powerful. You cannot take it this away.
Dude, yesterday, not yesterday, I'm lying. I'm actually lying. It was years ago. I saw the movie Terminator 2, but yesterday I saw a clip of that, like when they go and visit the guy who created Skynet. Damn, it's such a good movie. And then you watch that, like that's Sam Altman. That's Sam Altman, and that's OpenAI, and it's just a matter of time until we get Arnold coming in there to the OpenAI office.
Terminator 2 might be the best movie ever made.
Oh, dude, it is the best movie. I love that movie, and I'm so glad that you're saying that it's the best movie, because it is the best movie. Anastasia also thinks it's the best movie. She told me this before the stream, and we talked about this yesterday. Anastasia's, right? You know what I'm gonna say? Yep.
I fully support you, Jonathan.
Nice, good, good. Well. Okay, so we got the Lambo predictor here. I have the Pine script ready. So now I'm just going to copy paste this into the, oh, look at this. Okay, so I'm going to copy paste this. So this is cool. Lambo predictor, look at that. That's a car. Add to chart. Now, if this works, like if this works on the first try, it's probably not going to work. Sometimes it does, but let's go. Let's see.
Hey, Akram. In the comments, good to see you again.
All right. Oh, look at that. Look, it's a rocket emoji. Here we have a Lambo. Is that a fish as well? No, it's just a Lambo. Okay, so what do we have here? Oh, this doesn't look very good, does it? Okay, so okay, so the idea here would be that actually I need to so obviously we have the green arrow would mean that it's kind of like a long signal because it's breaking out. But it seems to be a little bit too simplistic here. Let's go into the 1 minute. I want to see what this looks like on the 1 minute, and then we kind of have to go to a futures contract, I believe. So let's go to BTC USDTP. No, that's... We need a perp for this.
The market is just so boring today.
Yeah.
I was hoping for some volatility on the PC data, but there is absolutely nothing on the PC and GDP sales. But maybe on the New York opening, we're gonna get some kind of volume coming in because it's completely dead. and the balance sheet.
Bitcoin, yeah.
Balance sheet is in the evening, so maybe on the Fed commentary, maybe, but that's gonna be all the way before the market closure.
Basically at the same price as we were during last night's stream or yesterday's stream.
Yeah, it didn't change much from there. My Cardano position actually did quite played out very well.
Nice. And Bitcoin is holding that $70,900 level, which Anastasia's talked about, and that's also a key level for me as well. So I'm still bullish on Bitcoin.
We were talking about this level yesterday, but when the price holds such a level for so long, for me, it just becomes so weak, to be honest with you. I don't really like when the price is holding the same level because it feels like it's preparing, to break it, especially when it's so quiet. Because sooner or later, the quieter it is, the higher chances are that the price is going to eventually break it, when the volatility kicks in. So for me, it's not a bullish sign when the price is just at the same level so long.
So guys, we're having the discussion in the comment section, and let's do this, right? Because this discussion is basically so Jamir has won 3 accounts this week, which is amazing. Congrats, I'm happy for you. But I do understand that there's a lot of other people in the comment section. You also want, maybe get an account, try the platform, etc. So we had Wild Deuce saying that, can we institute you can't win more than 2 accounts a week? So let's have a discussion about that. What do you guys think? Because we're just starting this live stream and we haven't even gotten started. I mean, we haven't started pushing this across all the channels and inviting all the big guests, etc. So those of you who are in right now, you're in from the very, very beginning, which means I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to help shape this show and how we're doing things here. So let me know what you think in the comment section. Should we have a limit on how many accounts one person can win in a week? If so, how many? What would that limit look like? So let me know, because I do. The whole idea with giveaways here, guys, is to give back to the community. You're here, you're liking the live stream, you're subscribing to the channel, and you're actively engaging in the comment section. So of course, the accounts and the giveaways is to give back to the community, and so therefore it also makes sense, I think, to help to get help from the community to structure all of this. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section. While we wait for that, I'm going through and trying to understand what we are seeing right here. So in the top right box right here, it says, okay, we can't see it right now because, okay, because these 2 arrows right here. Okay, so it says we have a, it's a score here. So you can see Lambo, it says 15 of 100. And that's some type of score. And it says that when that score is 70 plus, you're supposed to be trading. And then Coil says 0 of 3. That means that the market is awake when it says 2 or more. So now it's, according to this, sleeping, I guess, low volatility. And then fire, I don't know what that is. I think fire means short or long. So if we use the replay tool here, we can go back here, and the numbers tell that it's right now 40 of 100. It says it's 2 out of 3. Direction right now is long. Conviction 50. I need to understand all of this. BBV rank, that is going to be the Bollinger Band width, which means is quite small. So the idea here is that it's firing a short signal here. So fire, yes, and then short. This means that there's a volatility expansion to the downside on this candle right here. So on the close of this candle, there is a short signal. Now, and this is on the 1 minute. And I mean, theoretically, it makes sense because you have low volatility here. And then it's breaking the range and volatility is expanding. And from that signal, price did go down, but not a lot. So what's the low before it comes up to that level again? So it's down here. So if we measure that move, we see that it has a 0.15% move to downside. So what I want to do here is I want to measure there's something called the max favorable exertion and the max I can't remember the other one, but it's basically what that metric tells us is how far has price moved in our favor before coming back to entry, and how much have price moved against us. So price moved in our favor after signal triggers, and then how far does it usually go against us. And with that metric, we can then create a system where we enter on the signal, and then we have an idea of where we should put the stop loss and the TP. So this signal here, for example, could have looked something like this with stop loss above the prior candle, and then perhaps looking for a 2R or 1R or something like that. Usually what I do is when I test the system like this, there's going to be I completely lost my train of thought. Yeah, okay, so when you're developing a system, you need to split it up into different stages. You have signal testing and then back testing. And a lot of people think it's the same thing because we have on social media, etc., we get a lot of people saying like, oh, you just go to TradingView, put on the replay tool and start back testing your system and start back testing your entry signals. But that's signal testing, right? Actual back testing is not just about finding what works on past price action. It's what works on past price action and then projecting it forward using things like Monte Carlo simulation and walk forward testing to actually find a system that statistically with high probability will also work in the future. So with this, when you're using TradingView and the replay function, it's a good way of visually seeing if the entry trigger aligns. And I actually see some instances where it makes a lot of sense because here we have a short signal and here we have short signals and here as well. And then of course here we have some long and short, but it's still, there's some interesting instances here that we can kind of build on. Okay. What are you guys thinking?
It's completely not my topic, to be fairly honest with you. For me, it's like you're talking about Chinese when you are testing the system created on AI. So.
But it's pretty, one thing that's pretty interesting is, now with AI, you basically have it code for you. You just tell it what you want to be created. So, and all the things that I'm talking about here, if you guys in the comment section would want to learn more about this, and there's a few concepts that I'm talking about that you don't really understand. And first of all, please understand that, you can just ask a question in the comment section, and we will gladly help you out. But you can also ask something like Claude to explain the concept to you. Sometimes it's not going to be right all the time, but it's really good at learning new things and learning new skills, and then applying that to something like Claude Code to build whatever you want to be built. But I
think it's
feel
awesome
like
because John, I'm gonna get myself a subscription to Claude Code and maybe try to automate some of my own systems based on this, because I think it's pretty eye-opening. Like, I didn't know you could actually do these kind of things with Claude.
That's pretty cool. I wanna show you guys something, an indicator that I'm working on as well. Let me see, where do I have that one? So it's this one. I think it's this one. Maybe it's that one. No, I think it's this one. There's a lot of different, because it's so easy to create indicators. I have quite a few, but this is a yeah, this is the old one. I think I need to open the new one. Give me a second. Yeah, I think this is the right one. So this is a pretty cool indicator that is called, it's a regime filter, and it's based on 7 different indicators, all into one. So for example, it's based on 12-month momentum. We have something called the Weinstein curve, and then also the 52-week breakout, for example. So the 52-week breakout measures how far away price is from its 52-week highs or low. If it's very close and trading above the 52-week high with momentum to the upside, it means that it has recently broken above its yearly highs and it's trending higher. So the closer it is to its 52-week breakout, then it adds all of these indicators are normalized to a number between I believe it's -1 and +1. And then it has different weightings, as you can see here. The most important indicators here is the 52-week breakout at 20% weighting, and then the median time frame trend at 20%. So basically what this tells us is the broader trends within the market. And you can see here on Bitcoin that, and this is basically what I'm following in my long-term analysis. So if we go to Bitcoin here on Bitstamp, this is their name, by the way. Okay, so I sold Bitcoin here simply because the regime told me to sell, and I also sold here and then bought back here. And it's a very simple indicator based on all of these 4 fundamental principles within technical analysis. When I created this, all I said was, okay, so do extensive research on academic papers and peer review papers on technical concept that has been proven to work over a long period of time of identifying trends in the market. And then it gave me all of these indicators, put it into one, and here it is. So if you go, and there's a gap here, so there's like a 14-day delay of the signals. So a new regime can never be created unless it's been active for 14 days. So I can go back, for example, to can look at the S&P 500. It works very well on the S&P on Bitcoin. Not sure about S&P 500, but what's interesting about this one is it's not back tested. So this is the first time applying it to the chart, and these are the signals you get. So the indicator is not created based on past price. This is just created as is. And this is the S&P 500, which has a lot of lag. But what's interesting here with the S&P 500, at least it kind of triggers when there is a proper recession. If we go to, if I remove all of this, we see that on this move to the downside, it went into a neutral market regime. Not bearish, it went into bearish here, and this is just a bad signal, right? But what this tells me is to always stay on the right side of market risk. And all of this was created using Claude. So it's extremely powerful. Like something like this would take a long time to code. So definitely recommend going in and taking, seeing if you can, if you guys can use Claude Code and to automate things. I'm pretty sure that's gonna be able to help you guys automate things. What are you guys looking at today in the market? Is there any setups you're looking at? Anything you're looking for?
To be honest with you, I'm looking at I'm looking at a couple of things, but it's pretty much similar.
I'm personally still looking at this Bitcoin setup that I have on my chart.
Yeah,
Pretty
you're
much
not
the
muted
same
on
thing
the
from
stage.
yesterday.
Yeah, I
so
was
Bitcoin's
just
still
checking it
holding.
from.
The fifth,
I think he's.
55.
Can you hear us, Boris?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, there's a lag. I think there's a lag. There's a massive delay.
It's okay, Boris. Boris, go on.
Well,
Dude, I can write
maybe
a book.
you go first, and then once
can
my
write a whole book before you
internet is
start
back up,
speaking.
Right.
I'll
So I'm still looking for longs on metals, but I'm still not convinced that we're gonna go up from here. I had two different setups that in the morning I was waiting for. I was expecting them to kind of come into the play on the PCE data being published, but we didn't really have much of their, like some new kind of volatility kicking in. So I'm expecting now the more volatility over the New York opening, as much as also afterwards, eventually during the Federal Reserve commentary. Now I had two setups, as in the morning it was trading in the range, and I don't really like trading inside of the range, especially if it's metals, because the longer it's in the range, the higher is, for me personally, the chance that the price is going to eventually break outside the range and not necessarily in my favor. So I'm not a big fan of trading metals inside of the range. I was waiting for the exit either to break the previous highs here, so either to buyers to confirm that, okay, they can take the levels of sellers, the previous one, absorb it, hold the price eventually higher than where the previous seller stepped in last time. So above 47.66. So my one of the ideas would be that the price would exit. Okay, one second. The price would exit, give us the pullback, right? And I would enter again between 47.65 and 47.40 something area, and then eventual continuation back to the upside again. And the second and more favorable for me personally entry is if we test this zone right here. So if I place my volume profile over this whole zone of accumulation, and this is something that I had already in the morning planned. So I want to see the price going a little bit lower, creating one more leg down with the main zone for my entry being between 46.87 and 46.60. Okay, and then continuation to the upside. Now, as I'm expecting the one more leg down on gold, right? I am expecting the push to the upside on Bitcoin, and then eventual continuation down. Okay, so as I'm expecting gold to go up from here, so let's say that my target, my ID would be like this. All right, I'm expecting the Bitcoin to be eventually reversed. Okay, so as we were looking yesterday for this move to the upside, however, the narrative since yesterday for me personally slightly changed. I see that the positivity is fading towards the ceasefire because the deal is still not been reached. We are at the previous highs. The price tried breaking above this highs twice. It failed. And we had coming the volume exactly at this previous highs here, which the price wasn't able to break through above. So as I'm expecting gold to go higher, I'm expecting Bitcoin to go lower. We are at the moment in between the volumes, depending how we see it, right? So we have one area here, one area here. So let me just highlight it like this. Let's say it's here, and then another one, it's right here. So I want also something very similar. I want either one leg up, one more towards this area, and then sharp drop below the previous low, and then continuation down towards 69 to 20 or 69 700, or eventually just continuation down, breaking previous lows, the pullback, and then continuation. One more leg down on this one. So I'm waiting for either the retest, the failed attempt to go up above 71,750 for Bitcoin, or the break below 70 and 500, 7460, and then continuation down. So let me just highlight this level. So this is the break that I'm waiting for. And this is one of my target zones. So that's the first target zone, and that's the second target zone on the previous low. So this is first, and this is second. Okay, not like this, just like this. Here we go. So this is second. So in my personal opinion, we're gonna have a drop on BTC. One of the reasons is gold. Another reason is S&P 500. So I'm evaluating eventually the high risk assets all together. And if we are looking at S&P on their 4-hour time frame here, what I'm very interested in is the following. So what I want to see is the price testing the volume from this consolidation. So we had this very choppy, very messy accumulation zone for S&P. 1 second, no extension, here we go. On S&P, price eventually broke back down, and now we are back around this area here. Now, I was looking at how the volume is distributed inside this area, and it's a little different on TradingView. Normally, right, if we are at the value area low, and it's here is basically the point of control of it, not the value area low. So I'm interested in the price reaching approximately 4,900 and then dropping down. So it's either for me the drop from here or one more leg up and the drop from here. But I'm looking for the rejection back down for S&P 500, test of this whole area before the eventual back continuation to the upside. And this I'm not sure about. I'm gonna have a look at the buy, but I'm not sure if it's gonna be so big, because again, if you look at the volume distribution over this whole movement, this is where the big volume area is. But I am waiting for short. Accordingly to this, I'm also waiting for long on gold, and I'm waiting for short on BTC. So those are my positions. I wanted them to come kind of into the more or less the entry, or at least some kind of setup on PCE data, but we didn't have any movement. The price of almost all assets kept ranging more or less in the same area. So I'm waiting for the New York opening maybe in just 25 minutes from now, because now we have the gold market opening and it's still not moving much. So I don't really like when the price is not moving like this, because it means that market participants are waiting for some kind of more clear macroeconomic data. And if the macro data didn't move it, it means we are waiting for some kind of announcement. Usually this kind of situation happens when there is an unannounced or unplanned announcement happening, right? So there is something, some kind of news, some kind of shock event that is coming. We don't know about this necessarily. And that's why I'm very careful at the current moment with the positions. That being said, yesterday I did have quite a nice sell on Cardano, because we talked about this yesterday on our live stream. I was looking for either go buy on BTC or sell on Cardano. If Cardano falls below the previous lows here, it did fall below. It tested exactly the level I wanted, right? So it's in short. My stop loss is at break even because we are now 1-to-1 risk to reward. I want to see if it's going to continue going down or not. So if BTC right now also, I think the reason I keep holding it is because I do have the scenarios on Bitcoin. So I'm expecting the chances that the Bitcoin is going to just fall from the market price. If it does, it's going to support my my Cardano position, and it's going to eventually fall, continue falling as well. So that's a plan.
You drink coffee. Anastasia, do you drink coffee?
Me? Yeah, I drink coffee.
Nice. What type of coffee do you like? Is it like lightly roasted or dark roasted? Because we got Wild Dude saying that he likes dark roast coffee. Are you a dark roast or light roast?
Light roast, and I drink. Nice. I drink cortado, double cortado.
Okay, I don't know what that is, but
it's basically double espresso but with milk.
Oh, you got milk. You got milk in there.
But
okay, you don't like coffee. If you have milk in your coffee, you don't like coffee. That's like, you know.
I'm slowly transferring from years ago it was latte, then it was cappuccino, then it was flat white for 2 years. Now it's cortado, so there is less and less milk, and now I'm drinking half Americano, half double cortado with oat milk. Okay, so nice. By the next month, I'm going to be drinking my black coffee only.
Okay,
I'm getting there.
Yeah, you're getting there. I like it. Yeah, light roasted coffee is the best. Actually, you know what? Give me a second.
I think it's going and get a coffee. I'm low on dark roast coffee, he says.
Okay, I can't find it, but I actually have a coffee roaster like in the room next to me. Because I had this idea, you know, sometimes I get ideas and then I'm like, feel like this is the best idea I've ever had. I thought back then when I first had it. So I ordered a coffee roasting machine, you know.
Okay.
And I thought, you know what? I'm gonna start a company where I'm gonna sell my own coffee. But then I actually started the company, right? And I registered to become a wholesale person for like raw coffee beans, right? And then in that process, I kind of lost interest. But the cool thing now is that I still have the company, and I still have, you know, I'm still signed up as a wholesale. I can import, you know, large quantities of raw coffee, and they still think I have the company, and they think I resale this stuff, but I'm not doing that. And you guys don't have to, you know, tell anyone about this. It's not like it's not on the internet, but you know, I imported, and I get it very cheap, and then I roast it myself, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool if you ask me. And if the tax authorities ask, obviously I'm selling the coffee after roasting it, which I'm not. I don't think it's illegal though. Maybe it is. But it's a very good life hack. If you want cheap coffee, become a coffee wholesale person. Whatever that. What's the brand? Well, I'm not. So it's not a brand. It's actually like a network of small micro plantations around the world, and I have one farm in Ethiopia that harvests wild Ethiopian coffee, and it's so nice because it's grown wild in Ethiopia, and then they harvest it and they let it dry. So coffee beans, they're like fruits. So like within the fruit, you have the coffee bean, and they let it dry in the fruit. So when it comes to me, it's like small fruits with the coffee bean inside it, and then I roast it with the fruit. So when I make the coffee, it's like fruit coffee. It's insanely good. Ah, man. Okay, so next week we're gonna talk about coffee. Okay, I want to talk about coffee. We're not gonna do that now, but we should definitely have a live stream just doing coffee shit, talking about coffee.
Roasting good coffee is extremely difficult, no? Like to roast it, to make it good, is more difficult than anything else eventually.
Yeah, but I do have a fairly good process. So the thing is, the coffee I make becomes best at winter. So I can do it outside, and then I can quickly, because it gets quite cold here, like minus 20 Celsius. So at that point, I can make some really good coffee, because you need to get the beans cold after roasting them quickly. So I usually do it in the winter, and with time you get a feeling for it. It's yeah, but sometimes it's very bad.
Don't you also have the popcorn machine?
Well, of course you have a popcorn machine. Who doesn't?
Yeah, I think I remember that, right?
Yeah.
What you don't have at home? You have a coffee roasting machine. You have the popcorn machine. You have bamboo.
I have what? What was that? Bamboo. Bum what? What?
Bamboo.
But this is not real, Anastasia. This is fake.
It doesn't matter. Let's not tell anyone it looks real.
Okay, it's real.
Story alive.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Jimmy, you're Italian. I knew. You know what? I'm just gonna say it. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. I do not think that Italian coffee is the best coffee. I really don't think so. Like espresso, I mean, sure, Italian espresso, that's good. I mean, it's good, but honestly, we got a lot of people from Italy here. Oh, Italy. Yeah. If you're Italian, you come from Italy. Yeah. Well, okay, I like you guys.
Jonathan, never criticize Italian food or drinks in front of Italians.
I'm saying that it's not bad, you know. I'm not saying it's bad. It's wonderful, but there's been better coffees. Okay. Espresso, good stuff, right? Italian espresso, sure, very nice. But my coffee is pretty good as well.
I remember 2 years ago with my mom in Italy, I ordered the cappuccino at 3 or 4 o'clock. That was still when I was drinking cappuccino, and the guy almost had a heart attack. Yeah. After that, we've never ordered cappuccino anymore after 2 o'clock, because apparently it's a thing in Italy. So you can absolutely not drink a cappuccino after 2 o'clock. You only drink espresso.
Why? That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's a tradition. It's like you don't break pasta, you don't break spaghetti. You know?
Yeah. You know what I do? I cup my spaghetti with a scissor. Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah, that's what I do. Well, I'm waiting for them to flip out in the comment section.
Yeah, I'm actually opening the comments right now.
Maybe they left. Maybe they left. Yeah. Flirting. Who am I flirting with? It's like I'm flirting with the Italians. No, I would never. Or do they mean I'm flirting with you, Anastasia? Do you think that's what they're saying?
I'm not sure about that. It's completely off topic in the comment.
Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, I'm flirting with you, Roman. That's right. Yep. You got Roman in the background. That's the one I'm flirting with. Well, we're talking a lot about coffee here today. I think we should get back to actual trading things here. So I've it has created a new indicator for me. So I'm gonna go. But you know what? Okay, back to coffee. You order an Americano in Italy, and they was laughed at. I quite like the Americano though, because it's a good mix between like, is the chilled out coffee just because you just want a coffee, and then it's also like a little bit stronger. She's like, I want a coffee, but I also want something strong, but not too strong. So I think Americano is pretty good. Yeah.
What do you drink?
Mostly it's water.
No, what's your coffee? To go coffee.
My coffee is black maca, not a maca, but just a normal filter coffee, black Ethiopian lightly roaster. That's the one.
Nice choice.
I'm a simple man. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm a very, Okay, let's. Where do we have the? Okay, we got. Okay, looks like it's created a new indicator for me. So let's pull this up.
Oh, you
Let's
were waiting
try.
until I was processing the code.
No, I've just been talking too much about coffee. Can't believe it's been 1 hour and 20 minutes.
Hey, coffee is always good. I do need to cut the amount though, because I've started to drink like 5 double espressos per day.
Yeah, I got an espresso machine, and it's like, I don't like it, I don't know why, but I don't like it. I just like my filter coffee, and I usually only drink coffee in the morning. It's just not the same thing during the day.
I don't know.
And I've started liking tea,
That's what I need to switch to, because the amount of coffee I drink is just beyond the level of sensible limits.
Yeah, it's like you can definitely overdo coffee.
I'm gonna
so we
stick
got a
to
new
coffee.
Sorry, what?
I'm sticking to coffee. This tea is too weak for me.
It's too weak.
I mean tea.
Tea is too weak. There's some pretty strong tea
caffeine.
out there.
You tried Rooibos? Rooibos is pretty strong.
Yeah, but it tastes like shit though.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say no, because I fully agree with you on that. I've absolutely nothing to say about that.
Okay. What are we looking at? Okay, so what
John,
actually?
I wanted to go into algo, because we were discussing that the past couple of streams.
Yep.
And you had a short on it, or you did on Monday, I believe, or Tuesday. And I was actually inspired to take my own short on algo, kind of based on your analysis.
Oh wow.
And I just took the short today. Basically, we broke below the 21 EMA on algo with expanding
Switch over
momentum
to your
and
chart.
volume.
You can show what you're watching.
Yeah, so basically, I was watching this level at 0.1136 or so, and we broke below it. We also broke below this key EMA. Also some pretty decent volume coming in. Also, it's kind of like a triple top at the top of the range here at 0.1239. So I entered a short on this candle. And right now I'm just waiting for this trade to play out. But I'm looking for targets down towards the downside, maybe all the way down to like 9 cents or like 0.884. So I'm looking for a 20% move down in the algo from these range highs.
Yeah, I remember we talked about that yesterday. We talked about algo yesterday, and it said how you wanted to short it again. And Yeah, it's definitely interesting. And if I'm looking at the daily here, we talked about this yesterday, how I would have wished I entered on the retest and that had my stops above this level. And this is the reason why I should stick to the higher time frames, because this is where everything just makes sense to me, right? So I kind of wish I looked at this from that daily perspective and not the 4 hour, because we're looking at a 2.3 hour trade here. It's a good trade, and now I feel like I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, okay, we are probably going to come down and test this region down here at around 0.1. So then the question is, can I ride that trend? Can I get into the trade again? But for me, I think it's too late. I mean, I'm the type of trader that I see a good setup. Give me a second.
Sure thing. Yeah.
So are you in any other trades right now?
No, well, I'm calling basically like I'm holding Cardano, but yeah, that's the only thing from yesterday, the short that I was sharing. I'm waiting for, because you disconnected when we were discussing it, I'm waiting for shorts on BTC. I'm waiting on shorts accordingly on S&P 500 and Nasdaq, and for longs on gold. But again, I was expecting some volatility on the news. Nothing happened. So in 8 minutes, we have the New York opening. So I think in the next couple of hours, we're going to either have massive volatility on some unexpected news that makes the market completely silent, or it's going to be dead until tomorrow, just like this. So I've got two options, basically.
I think we're going to see a bigger move on Friday, because we're going to go into the weekend. I don't think people want to be stuck in any trades over the weekend. So I think we're going to see a big move in either direction on Friday rather than today. But I could be wrong.
Possible.
Because personally, I wouldn't want to be holding any swing positions into the weekend, right, during this.
Yes, I'll be back in 5 minutes.
Period.
Sure thing.
Okay.
We can maybe connect to my screen then, switch to my screen while Jonathan is away. So that's the only thing that I'm still holding. That's a trade that is open for now, the Cardano one. So I was either looking for BTC longs. Yesterday is the one that we discussed, but again, you disconnected, so I'm gonna quickly repeat it. So this was my zone for longs, so around 71 to 70.5, with 70.9 being the middle of it. So I was looking for these longs, but because we are in between the volumes, first of all, the price tried recovering, it failed. The price now doesn't even create the higher highs, so we continuously going lower and lower. It's showing me some weakness of buyers because we cannot hold the higher prices. And even in this smaller period of time, we are continuously creating the lower highs. At the same time, if we look at the higher time frame for BTC, we kind of did reach the previous almost resistance, right? There is a space to go, like we talked about yesterday, but if it would go, I was expecting it to already happen by then. And at the moment, it feels like we tried breaking this high and 2 attempts failed. So we had 2 weeks grabbing the liquidity from above, buyers attempt to push higher, which failed. And now we are trying to close below the weekly point of control, and this is the previous monthly point of control. So for me, BTC looks more bearish at the current moment. Whether I'm still accepting the probability that we might have another attempt to go high. If we fail, we create some kind of long wick to the upside like the previous two. I'm either expecting the price to close below 70.475, then pull back and I'm going to sell, or just directly go here and I'm going to sell if it goes. down. Because I have the negative bias on BTC, I continue to hold Cardano. It's around 1 to 1 restore worth, a little bit more right now. It's consolidating just around this. It is a stop loss on break even, and I want to see if we're gonna reach 1 to 2 for the final target. And also one of the reasons I'm still holding, I'm expecting shorts on Bitcoin is US stock market, which I'm very curious to see now how the situation is going to be developed over the New York session, because for S&P, after the V-shaped recovery on the positivity of the news for the ceasefire, we had a very good V-shaped recovery from these previous volumes here, right? So this was quite a good reaction. And we are testing the volume that was accumulated over this long period of time. So we had a huge consolidation here. It's a little different volume distribution than on the order flow platform that I'm using. So normally this is the value area low, and this is the point of control. Nonetheless, in any case, this is a big volume area, and I'm waiting to see if the price is going to go to 6,900 for the sell, or it's eventually may even fall from here. So I have exactly the same overview, and I've had this overview since we were here for S&P 500. So I've had these zones marked up. So because of this, I'm expecting the exact same scenario for S&P as for Bitcoin. And for Nasdaq, it's very similar, which I always compare compare correlated assets. So what I'm looking at for Nasdaq is this movement to the downside. So how the volume was distributed from this high to this low. And if we take the volume profile, we place over this whole movement, I'm looking for the futures, right? We're gonna see that we are also trading around the point of control, plus minus, depending on the different platforms, is gonna be a little bit higher, a little bit lower, but this is a high volume node. The price tried breaking above it, we are now below it again. So for me, it's also bearish. How far is it bearish? It's different. So we can go back to the value area, or we can go to the high volume node created on this upwards movement, right? So we can also go, for example, towards this zone. But whatever it is, I am expecting another leg down on indices, and together with indices, I'm expecting the one leg more down for cryptos as well. So it's either, oops, not what I wanted. So either like
you're
this.
Basically,
yeah.
You're basically bearish on everything.
Yeah, kind of. I'm bearish on everything besides gold. On gold, I'm bullish, but I'm also quite waiting. Either we're going to break the previous highs here and then move and then take a buy, or we're going to create one more leg towards the previous consolidation. Also, the reason for this is the fact that if you look at the bigger perspective on gold, we're gonna see that we are quite training in channel, right? It's a little choppy channel, but it is a channel in the end of the day. So if like we look at this, for example, here, right, we have another leg down here. So together with gold going up, like one leg down and up, one leg more up and down, Bitcoin one up and down, so it's quite makes sense for me. So that's something I'm expecting across all the types of assets as well. But let's see. For now, everything is
I noticed you tend to look at the 4-hour time frame. Is that like your preferred time frame to trade, the 4-hour?
Yeah, I do my narrative, make my narrative and overall analysis on the 4 hours to daily. And I always look at this during the weekend. So it's something that I do during the weekend. Right. I build my narrative for the preferable move during the beginning of the week, so first 3 days. Then I choose a direction. So what is more likely for me as a direction, and within this direction, then I I look for confirmations on the 30-minute time frame. Then when the 30-minute time frame is good, I look for entry confirmation, trade management, and exit on the 5-minute time frame, footprints, and order flow. So, but 4 hours and daily is for the building of narrative. So the direction, overall, I pick, and the zones, I pick on the high time frame always.
Makes sense.
So it's kind of, even if it's a small move that I'm expecting, I want to trade the small move from the bigger zones. which make it more probable to see the rejection from, because it's a bigger volume. So that's kind of a logic that I follow.
Yeah, I found that for Bitcoin and crypto, the 4-hour time frame is actually pretty reliable. It's almost kind of like in between a short-term time frame and a higher time frame. I like to call it like a meso time frame, the 4-hour, when I feel like, you know, digging into time frames that are lesser than the daily. So I love the 4-hour time frame.
Yeah, I really like it too, because it gives me kind of like, and eventually the bigger the volume is, the bigger the money was invested, the more the chances are that it's gonna attract the price, right? Either for rejection or just as a magnet, whatever it is, but it's more significant. So I prefer even taking, if it's a scalp, I'd still rely on the bigger time frame first.
Jonathan, what do you think? What do you think about the 4-hour time frame?
Well, I like the 4-hour time frame. Thanks. I think for me, I am just going to go in here and click something, because I cannot do two things at once. So I'll have to just do this, and then I can answer your question. Yeah. So, I love the 4-hour time frame. I think the 4-hour time frame is the perfect balance between the lower time frames and the higher time frames, right? So I think, you know, the daily, I'm looking at the daily and I'm kind of getting a sense for what the overall direction of the market is. And then you're kind of going into the 4-hour, you're getting that intraday bias without. So the lower time frames I kind of view as noise. I don't really, for me, it's not really important. So the 4-hour is, would kind of like be the lowest that I go in my trading. But of course, there's gonna be periods when I see something super obvious on the, can even be the 1 minute, but it's only gonna be on during these live streams. But because I'm not actively trading throughout the day, right? So I'm not the type of trader that is just sitting sitting at my screen watching. Wait a minute. Sorry, I just saw something here in my calendar. I just need to make a note, because I saw that I had a meeting on Monday that I thought was next Monday. So it seems like I missed that meeting. Whatever. Yes, I was saying the lower time frames. Yeah, I'm not the type of trader who's like sitting around all day watching the chart. I have a million different things going on, different projects I'm working on. So the only time when I can really do active trading is during these live streams. So sometimes. I'll be able to monitor the 1 minute for potential setups and things like that. But what I do mostly is I check the markets maybe 10 to 15 minutes a day, maybe 20 minutes a day or something like that is kind of like the time that I spent looking at the charts. Yeah. Because what I do is I basically just, I look at the daily, and then I'm like, okay, what's the primary trend? Where do I want to get in? Where do I want to get out? And then I base all my decisions on the close of the daily candle. And that happens at 11 p.m. my time. I believe the daily candle is closing. So this is in the at least on the Forex brokerage, I believe it's the same on the crypto exchanges as well, depending on if they're using the what candle close they're looking at. But usually I base my trading decisions on the daily candle close, and I enter my trades in the morning the day after. So I go through the markets and the alerts probably like 15 to 20 minutes a day, and that's it.
Why do you wait until the morning after and not like
because I'm
during
sleeping.
the actual close? Oh,
yeah,
I see.
I'm sleeping, man. I'm in bed 11, dude. I have kids. I'm exhausted at 11.
Well, drink more coffee, man. Like, you
I
gotta
should
be
drink
making
more
trades
coffee.
when you the close.
Yeah.
I'm
You know,
joking.
I wish coffee would be helping me when I'm exhausted, but it's absolutely not. Yesterday, I drank, guys, at 8:30 in the evening, I drank 2 double espressos, 4 espressos, not decaf, normal. I went to the gym until 10 o'clock. I came back and I slept absolutely normally. So this thing it stops working. It
Yeah.
stops working.
Coffee doesn't make me like, it doesn't give me energy. It just makes me sleep worse if I drink it too late. Like if I drink coffee late in the day, it's just as get a bad sleep quality, you know.
That's true. You know, what I recommend is if you're feeling kind of tired, is going for an ice bath. If you have that option where you live,
Yeah, just
that awakens
like
your
that.
senses. And
Nothing major, just an ice bath.
Well, Jonathan, to be fairly honest, Boris is making the point because you have a popcorn machine, you have a roasting machine, you have bamboo, you have all these types of stuff at home. You know, they have portable ice bath. It looks like a barrel, and it's a
Yeah,
portable
no, I have a bath right outside my office that I do actually use for ice bath.
Yeah, you see, it's then
Yeah, the thing is, like, outside my office, if I go to the left, I have a popcorn machine and a coffee roaster, like 1 meter to the left. And then if I go 4 meters in front of me, I have a gym. And then to the right of the office, right outside, I have a bathtub, which I take. I'd like. Okay, it sounds like I'm this. You know, I go to the my own little gym here every day. No, it's not every day. It's like once every 3 months, and then the ice bath is like maybe sometime on the summer.
And that's exactly the reason why he is looking at the charts on only 15 to 20 minutes per day. Because when he exits the office, he has a popcorn machine, he has a bus, he has a gym, and it's just one step away.
Yeah.
I understand that it's difficult to stare at the charts when it's one step away from you.
Yeah, there's so many things around here. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out this indicator that we've built here. It's not giving me. So I've added a lot of different things here. Oh, okay, that's interesting. It's looking at the VIX as well. So it has actually integrated the VIX from the CBOE here. So it's looking at VIX regime. That's not necessary. But I'm trying to trying to understand, or I'm starting to understand what it's doing. But I'm actually thinking that I want to completely go away from the. So it's using the Bollinger Bands and the Keltner channels. So you can see here it says blue is the Bollinger Bands. It's the blue bands here. And then the orange channels is the Keltner channels. But I'm thinking that I might want to completely move away from those two and only, because it's not firing any signals here. I mean, this should definitely be. Oh wow, we got Mike in the comment section as well. What's up, Mike? Hope you're doing good. Nice to have you in here.
Hey, Mike.
I hope Maya is treating you well. Everything's going well in your life. I've heard rumors that you're in an airport getting drunk, so congratulations on that. Let's see. Do you know what I mean? Like if instead of looking at the Bollinger Bands and the Keltner channel, I want to come up with something that is just looking at price and structure and somehow integrating ATR into that. Do you know what I'm saying, Boris?
So you're trying to incorporate price and structure. Just explain it one more time, just so I can.
Okay, so the issue I'm having here is this indicator is based on a combination of Bollinger Bands and Keltner channels, but I feel like it's that's a very clearly defined structure. If you're basing it on those two indicators, then the logic of those indicators is completely dictating how we view volatility. And I'm thinking, is the different approach
I would add a momentum indicator. Do you have a momentum indicator there?
That's good. That's good.
I like the check out the Fisher transform. Basically, it's gonna be complicated to explain, but basically when the Fisher line crosses above the zero line, that indicates positive momentum. So maybe that would be a cool variable to play with.
Yeah, that makes sense. Actually, I forgot about this indicator. I remember reading up on this and trying to understand it a while ago, but I do. Okay, I'm going to go into Claude and I'm going to ask it, could you please spawn a couple of research agents to research how we can incorporate momentum into this and which momentum indicators would be best?
Yeah.
There's
so many out there.
Stochastics RSI, and the Fisher transform.
This is my opinion, I would just delete RSI and stochastic RSI, because from my experience, I feel like those are just indicators that pretty much every trader looks at, and that every trader who starts out like looking at indicators, that is the first one that traders look at. So I think it's very easy for bigger players to not manipulate the RSI, but basically perform moves based on what the RSI is showing. And like basically from what I know is that there's actually like RSI divergent spots that are ready to initiate trades based on when there's a bearish or bullish divergence in the RSI, and they can cash these moves way faster than retail traders. So I think like there are more advanced indicators we can use, like the Fisher transform. I don't think too many people look at that. And then also, I was mentioning the QQE mod indicator on TradingView, which is public. So I think we could experiment with that as well.
But
that's my opinion. I mean, if RSI works for you, then that's fine.
I mean, momentum indicators, they're all showing the same thing. So if we have RSI and then the Fisher transform and the stochastic RSI, they're all showing the same thing. And I think that's the main thing to understand with these momentum indicators is if you have one momentum indicator, it's basically going to show you pretty much the same thing as all the other momentum indicators. It's just the difference is just going to be how much does it oscillate in different areas. I mean, we can see if we add a line here whenever the you can say some like the stochastics RSI obviously is going to react faster than the RSI, so you get that down move right on all of these momentum indicators. So it's basically the same thing. But of course, when you're creating a more of a system, you kind of want to have an idea of what indicator gives you the best signals, because they are going to move across different lines at different times, different timings. But I'm gonna fire this away, the message there to Claude, and see what it comes back with.
Yeah. Also, Jonathan, you could consider playing around with the settings, because, for example, for the Fisher transform, I think the default length is like 10, but if you switch it to a length of 7, it becomes like more or yeah, the default length is 9, but if you switch it to 7, which is what I have it on, it becomes a bit more sensitive to price movements. So it depends what you're looking for, if you want it to be more sensitive or less sensitive to price movements. I personally find that putting a setting of 7 on the Fisher gets me into like trending trades earlier. But it also depends whether you're more conservative or more of a aggressive trader.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the daily. I mean, the 5 minute here, and I'm trying to understand. I want to see a lot of signals here, but there's quite few signals.
The thing is, I don't use it on the 5 minute. I use it on the daily and like 12-hour time frames, maybe 8-hour. I think on the 5 minute, like I don't think it's a good idea to be using like the Fisher or the RSI on the 5 minute time frames.
No, maybe not.
I think it's better to use the Bollinger Band with percentiles on lower time frames, because that's going to show you excess moves, or like moves that are, you know, let's say a candlestick goes beyond the Bollinger Band width, that probably shows there is excess. What's the phrase I'm looking for? The price is beyond the range of the Bollinger Band, and usually what you want to do in that case is revert it back into the median of the Bollinger Band. Like, it's not perfect, but I think that would be a good strategy to experiment with.
Well, I'm gonna play around with this a little bit, but I need just a quick 5 minute break, and then I'll be back, and we'll do one last giveaway before wrapping this up. So I'll be back in just a few minutes, okay? So you can probably switch over to maybe Anastasia's screen. Looks like I have something interesting there.
Absolutely nothing. No, I'm waiting.
You can look at my screen.
Yeah, if you're trading something,
trade.
you're looking for some because I'm still waiting, honestly.
You know, the New York session just opened about 15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And we actually started getting order flow according to AgriTrade, and it does look like it's more in the negative directions. Like, we're getting a lot of large sells through a lot of exchanges. So we had a $1.3 million sell order just like 10 minutes ago, pretty much when the New York market opened. So compared to yesterday, actually, it's pretty much the same as yesterday. As soon as we're getting negative order flow, it's going to the downside as well. So for the second day in a row, it does look like New York session is basically selling whatever the Asian and London sessions did over the past day.
Yeah. I'm considering taking a buy on gold, besides holding my sell on Cardano right now, because my indices are still I'm still kind of waiting for the shorts. It's in the same range, so I want to either the price go higher and then drop, or immediately start dropping, but right now it's still consolidating. So I am thinking about taking a buy on gold as per my plan, because we did break this level here. Let me just where was my analysis saved, in which tab? Great, in none of the tabs it was saved. I think so. That's the problem when you have too many TradingView tabs open. Sometimes it just doesn't save this thing. Okay, anyway.
Yeah.
I was basically waiting for this high to be broken first, or the price go in here into this zone, and it seems like we are breaking the high. So I'm considering if the price is gonna pull back to take a buy like this. Yeah, so that's basically my plan for the moment. And Cardano, I keep holding sells shorts. Why? Because also at the same time for BTC, I'm looking for the price to break the zone, and we are going there. I'm even thinking if I want to take an earlier sell, but probably not. Probably I would still like the price to break this low before taking a sell like this. That would be the best scenario for me personally. So because of this, I'm also considering those two trades. Well, I want to hold in one, thinking about. We did kind of break the previous lows, but I would like to see, yeah, maybe either like this or this scenario. I'm still waiting for some kind of confirmation. For me, it's a little too weak, what I am looking at the moment. Not sure. What you think about Bitcoin right now?
Yeah, actually, I started to take a look at gold on. Yeah, for Bitcoin, I'm still thinking the same thing as yesterday. Well, actually, $0.9 level. So which is below the 55 exponential moving average, which I like to use as a baseline. So earlier I was bullish, but you can see now, zoom in closer to my chart, we had a big wick to the downside on Bitcoin, and now we're starting to lose the 55 EMA. Again, we're still early in the day. The New York session just started, but yeah, if Bitcoin doesn't reclaim the 55, then I'm probably going to be bearish like you on Bitcoin. But for gold, actually, I was looking at the daily. On the daily, gold actually looks quite, I want to say, this isn't a long signal for me yet, but if it can break above like 4,771, this would be a long signal for me. This would be a break above the range at like 4,750. And if we break above the 55 exponential, then I think we can move back towards these highs I think we could go back to 5,000 perhaps. So actually, gold is looking much more bullish than Bitcoin to me right now. And so is silver.
For me, gold's target is around 4,970 to 5,000.
Yeah,
it's exactly where the next big volume for me is located. So that's exactly what I'm looking for as well.
Yeah, and I think we can trade tokenized gold contracts now. So, if you're trading crypto, you don't have exposure to traditional markets. Yeah, so we can definitely be trading gold right now.
Yeah.
Because what are your thoughts on silver?
We can because gold is one
as well.
Sorry.
Yeah. Do you trade silver as well, or only gold?
I trade silver, but I trade one of them at the same time. Mostly it's gold. So I use them as correlation, basically to confirm one each other. Mainly it's gold. So as we are now on my screen, so now if we look at silver futures, for example, only if silver is also bullish, I'm going to take a buy on gold, which at the current moment it is because we were also consolidating here. We reached this volume, tested this, consolidated, exited, right? So I'm aiming towards 76 to 60 on the futures or test above the previous highs here. So because it's bullish, I'm also can be more comfortable taking a buy on gold. And similar basically with gold, if I'm looking for silver trade and silver looks better for me technically, I'm going to be confirming it with gold being at the same position and ready to take a trade, in the same direction. So I use a correlated assets, basically the same as, for example, Bitcoin and Ethereum, the same as a mini S&P 500 at Nasdaq, same as gold and gold and silver to confirm each other before I take a trade.
Yeah.
I'll wrap it up, guys. So we have a comment saying, Jimir says, in my opinion, we should make the indicators simpler, which includes volatility and perhaps some key levels where we can wait for signals. Astronaut says, yes, I agree. Less is better. Yeah. So first of all, I'm going to announce today's second giveaway winner. And this one goes to Jules. You're the number one in the comment section, our most active commenter today. So you get an account today, my friend. We will get that sent to you. Actually, what you have to do is you have to add your email, the email that you use to sign up to Tradeify Crypto on your YouTube profile. When you've done that, we can send you a 10K 2 steps account. Also, Anastasia, I know you have to leave a little bit early today.
Yeah, just a couple of minutes earlier, right before the closure. So I'm just a summary, right? I'm basically looking for gold buy right now, and I'm going to sell for Cardano, and I'm looking for BTC shorts. I think I'm going to be taking the short on Bitcoin very soon because it's getting ready for my shorts as well here. So that's a summary from me for today, I think. Then I'm going to be done for the week because I don't like trading on Fridays. So I wish you guys a profitable rest of the week. And I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you not tomorrow, next week on Monday.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
We'll see you next week.
If you make a lot of money, see ya.
Yeah. All right, Boris. You want to join me? In a Discord tomorrow? Perhaps we can do some coding, AI coding, and work on some indicators.
Yeah. What time would that be?
I think we can do. I think it would be best if we do 1 hour earlier than what we start this stream. Would that be possible for you?
It should be. Yeah. Let me confirm in a few hours with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be cool to do a coding stream in Discord.
Yeah, I think we can do that. We can, maybe work a little bit on this indicator here. Maybe come up with some ideas, because our Discord sessions, they're more chill, they're more relaxed, and we can have a more closer connection with the team. Well, okay. Wild Do says that number one commenter is a 3-way tie. Well, it's right here. It says that Jules he has a crown, and then it says number 1, and it says number 3 for you, Wild Do. So I'm sorry, but you're actually out of the top 3. You're actually the worst. I'm kidding. You're number 3. I like you. Yeah, all good. Okay. Well, I'm. Go ahead.
Have we talked about Ethereum at all this week? Because I think we're talking about Bitcoin is the king, obviously, of all crypto. And what are your thoughts on Ethereum right now? I'm just curious. That's
a very interesting question, actually, because I haven't looked at Ethereum in I think all week. So let's take a look at it right here, see if we can. Yeah. So yeah, this is on the log scale. Well, yeah, the thing with Ethereum is if Bitcoin is going to break down, then I think Ethereum is going to break down. And if we look at this from the log scale, there's quite the big drop next down to the next solid levels. We have the first one being around like 1.1, 1.2. But really, no, please don't unsubscribe. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. But I mean, maybe I should have gone with the funniest commenter. Yeah. That still wouldn't be you. I'm kidding. Maybe it would be. So like just looking at technicals here, and he's drawing this out. 77% move to the downside seems extreme. I don't know. Like, I don't know if that's gonna happen, right? I feel like that's just way too extreme. But if Bitcoin is going to break down, then why shouldn't Ethereum break down more?
I agree.
I don't really understand why is Ethereum not breaking down? I mean, it's weird. I think the whole price structure of Ethereum is just one of the weirdest chart in crypto right now.
I know people have been waiting for the flippening. So for those who aren't aware, the flippening is when Ethereum takes over Bitcoin in market cap. And I think that's been
that's not happening.
Not exact. Yeah, it's been a meme since 2017, and it's almost 2027, guys. The flippening is not happening. I'm sorry.
Yeah. All right, guys. I gotta jump in a meeting, and we're coming up to the end of the live stream here today. So I would like to thank you all for joining us this week. We're doing sort of a soft launch and a just testing things out here on the YouTube channel, and with all the technicals and all the equipment we have here. Next week we're coming back, same time, same place, Monday through Thursday, and we're gonna have Dirk Hartig coming on Tuesday. He is a market veteran, been working for investment banks and family offices. He has 25 years experience in the markets, and he's very big with cryptos. It's gonna be very interesting to talk to him. And then on Thursday, I believe it is, we're gonna have a CMT coming on, who believes that Bitcoin might not make another all-time high in the next 10 years.
Oh.
That's going to be an interesting conversation. So, yeah.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah. So thank you, everyone, for joining us this week, and we hope to see you all next week. Of course, we're going to do giveaways and fun stuff, and hopefully we can continue working on this indicator as well, so we can actually create something useful for us all. All right. Thank you, everyone, and see you next week.
All right, thanks, guys. See ya.